Assalamu alaikum. This is Saad Kazmi, your new instructor for O levels Pakistani studies. After a thorough discussion on the syllabus of O levels Pakistani studies, we will start our first course from the question that arises in the mind of all people, that what were the major causes and consequences of the decline of great Mughal Empire in the subcontinent. To proceed forward, I would like to discuss that the region we generally call subcontinent in the history, and we would be calling it subcontinent till 1947 in our history textbook, is the region that includes present day of Pakistan, India, Bangladesh, and a few parts of Afghanistan too. So, as we have discussed in the first lecture, that who were the Mughals, how they were ruling, and from where they were actually from the Turks. So they ruled here for many years, for almost hundreds of years, but as the law of nature, that every rise has to see a fall, the Mughal Empire has also, after a great time in subcontinent, has to witness the bitter times in it too. So firstly, on a broader canvas, the major reasons for the decline of Mughal Empire were the seeds sown by Aurangzeb's policy. Aurangzeb was one of the rulers of Mughal Empire who introduced many policies which affected Mughal Empire in various ways. One of its famous policies was of Deen-e-Ilahi. The other problems which we will be studying are the rise of Marathas and other foreign forces too, and the weak successors, a succession race, and role of the European powers, especially British. So the first cause which includes is in 1978 the Nader Shah from Persia invaded the Mughal Empire and defeated Muhammad Shah's forces at Karnal in 1739. He was only keen to collect as much booty as possible and ended up taking huge amounts of jewels, gold, and the prestige of Muslims. So in every era, the basic principle remains same, and that is, if any foreign power tries or successfully exploited your sovereignty or your territory, that shows that you are lacking somewhere. So this was happening with the Mughal Empire. As we have seen, Nader Shah from Persia, he does not belong to a Mughal, he was a foreign force. He came and he not only defeated the Mughals but also collected a reasonable amount of booty from that. Then another foreign force, Marathas, who entered into the territory of Mughals and again did what Nader Shah did. They also defeated Mughal empires within their state and plundered them very badly. Then in 1747, Afghans attacked Kabul, Peshawar, and Lahore. Again the same scenario, in which they captured Punjab, and these continuous foreign attacks and continuous failures of Mughal Empire results finally in the downfall of Mughal era in subcontinent. Then the massive empire, the area of empire was at one hand a source of prestige, a source of what you can say a prestige for Mughal empires, but on the other hand, it was also a source of disagreements. It was also a source of a challenge. It was also a source to the administrative powers of the Mughal Empire. Mughal Empire was very widespread in the subcontinent. It started from Pakistan, ended on the regions now called Bangladesh, including whole of India. It was a very populated region. Moreover, it was a very vast region, and at that time there was no such technologies of effective and fast communication. So, to rule such vast areas, one needs to be very authoritative and very much consolidated. But unfortunately, with the passage of time, Mughals were not that much consolidated, but and somehow they were not that much passionate too. This resulted in sort of a unruliness in the empire, and eventually caused a great blow to Mughal Empire in the result of the downfall of them. Then a lavish lifestyle of Mughals were one of these is another reason of the downfall of Mughal Empire. They started spending a lavish lifestyles. They started spending a lot of wealth on the things which are not that much productive, like military, like foreign exchange, and so on, like industries, like means at that time not the modern day industries, but obviously a production belts and all. Instead of them, they started investing. They started spending on their on their clothes, on their jewelries, and etc. So this lavish lifestyle cost them a lot, cost them heavily, in the shape of a downfall of them in their own region. So, then a continuous succession problem occurred in Mughal Empire, uh, which means the succession problem means that the leaders started to fight among themselves for a greater authority. So, in this succession fight, Mughal Empire witnessed a very rapid change in the leadership, and this continuous and rapid change in the leadership caused chaos and anarchy in Mughal Empire, which finally resulted in the downfall of it. Then comes the major reason, the one of the most important reasons for the down of Mughal Empire, and that was surely the entrance of British in the disguise of EIC. EIC means East India Company. British entered in the subcontinent as a trader known as EIC, and with the passage of time, this EIC gained massive powers, and with the lax attitude and with the unaddressed EIC, Mughal Empire started losing majority of their power to the Britishers, and finally a day came when British imposed the famous British Raj in the subcontinent and ended the great Mughal Empire. Hope you all get today's lecture. Uh, the directives for you is to read as much as you can from Nigel Kelly and from any other relevant source which you want to read about the downfall of Mughal Empire. Please be focused on the only on the downfall of Mughal Empire, as the era before this is not included in the syllabus of O levels. So be very much definite about your approach. Thank you. Allah Hafiz. Jazakallah.